Aliens came to Earth 20 years ago, and now they have returned with the intention of completing their mission to suck everything on Earth. Earth finds itself confronted by a fresh extraterrestrial menace. The question remains, will humanity's recently developed space defenses prove sufficient to counter this threat from beyond our solar system? If you want to stay in the loop and receive more exciting videos, make sure to subscribe, click the notification bell, and don't forget to like the video. The narrative begins in outer space aboard the alien mothership, where a creature observes Thomas Whitmore's inspiring speech from the previous battle that occurred 2 decades earlier in the first Independence Day film. The creature emits a growl, but it turns out to be merely a nightmare from which Whitmore abruptly awakens. Whitmore's daughter, Patricia Monroe, works for President Elizabeth Lanford, Sela Ward, in her current administration. Patricia, who used to be a military pilot, resigned from her position to care for her father, who has become more fragile and disturbed after the invasion. She shares a friendship with Dylan Dubrow-Hiller, Jesse T. Usher, the son of the late Stephen Hiller, who passed away in the years following the battle. Dylan holds the rank of captain among the military pilots. Following the battle, the Earth Space Defense was established, with Area 51 serving as its headquarters. Patricia's fiancé, Jake Morrison, Liam Hemsworth, is stationed on a lunar base, working on a machine alongside his best friend Charlie, Travis Toth. The machine malfunctions and nearly collapses onto the base, but Jake utilizes his pod to lift and secure it in place. Later, he receives a reprimand from his superior, General Jiang Lao, Chin Han. General Joshua Adams, William Fichtner, is taken to a prison where captive aliens from the initial battle have been kept alive. It is mentioned that these aliens have remained catatonic for the past 2 decades, but a few hours ago, they suddenly became animated and agitated. In Africa, David Levinson, Jeff Goldblum, arrives at a base with Floyd Rosenberg, Nicholas Wright, to meet warlord Dikembe Mbutu, Deobia Opere. David encounters a former romantic interest, Dr. Catherine Marceau, Charlotte Gainsbourg. They find themselves at the crash site of a new alien ship with an unfamiliar shape and configuration. Levinson and Marceau deduce that the ship was drilling into the Earth, although they are uncertain about the purpose. The ship they discovered has also transmitted a distress signal to its home planet. Back on the Moon, the pilots receive a visit from John's niece, Rain, Angela Baby, which sparks Charlie's romantic interest. Dylan also arrives, causing tension due to Jake's near-fatal mistake during training. Dylan retaliates by punching Jake in the face, leading to a harsh reprimand from Jiang for both of them. The spherical spacecraft approaching the moon base catches the attention of those on Earth, both in Africa and within President Lanford's staff. Deeming it a threat, Lanford issues an order to shoot down the craft. The team stationed on the moon fires their laser cannon, causing the spacecraft to be forcefully pushed backward. All the teams rejoice, believing they have achieved another triumph against the aliens. In Africa, Jake arrives in his shuttle to transport David, Catherine, Mbutu, and Floyd to the crash site of the moon's craft. There, they discover a large container and retrieve it. The scene shifts to David's elderly father, Julius Judd Hirsch, residing in a retirement home where he promotes a book in which he claims responsibility for saving the planet. In a hospital, Dr. Brakish Oaken, Brent Spiner, finally awakens from his 20-year coma. He immediately rises from his bed and hastily scrawls alien symbols on the walls of his room. Back on Earth in Washington, D.C., a celebration takes place to commemorate the downing of the spacecraft and the 20th anniversary of the victory against the invaders. Numerous veterans from the initial alien invasion attend, including the aged and feeble General Gray, Robert Loggia. Unexpectedly, Thomas steps forward to address the crowd, but, as he is introduced, he attempts to warn everyone that they're coming back. Simultaneously, he, Mbutu, and Brakish all experience a peculiar sensation. At that very moment, an enormous ship, many times larger than the first mothership, emerges high above Earth and begins its approach. The ship initially targets the moon base, resulting in the deaths of Jiang and several others, which Rain witnesses. It then moves over the North Atlantic Ocean, suspending parts of China and Dubai in midair. Skyscrapers, cars, and people in London, Shanghai, and Dubai are lifted into the air before crashing back to the ground. Amidst the chaos, Dylan spots his mother, Jasmine, Vivica Fox, working in a hospital as she guides a woman and her newborn baby to the rooftop. Although the woman and her baby are rescued, Jasmine perishes when the building collapses beneath her, a heartbreaking sight for Dylan. Meanwhile, Julius is aboard his boat when the attack strikes, and he narrowly survives as a massive wave engulfs his vessel. Later on, Jake finds Dylan and expresses his condolences. He shares his own pain, having lost his parents during the initial alien attack when he was a child and deeply regretting the last harsh words he spoke to them. Thomas enters the captive alien's holding cell in order to establish communication. However, in front of Patty and other soldiers, the alien seizes Thomas with its tentacle. Using Thomas as a medium, the alien announces the imminent arrival of someone referred to as she. Patty presents a picture of a sphere, which triggers an angry reaction from the alien. The soldiers open fire on the alien. As the alien emerges from its exoskeleton biomechanical suit, Mbutu swiftly eliminates it. Upon detecting an infrared reading from the new mothership, the military identifies the alien queen within a chamber located at the top of the craft. They deduce that eliminating the queen could halt the progress of her fleet. Lanford grants authorization for a retaliatory strike. The Earth Air Force, newly equipped and prepared, engages in an intense battle against both the mothership and a novel type of alien attacker ships. Simultaneously, the alien warriors launch an attack on Lanford's command bunker situated in the Colorado Mountains, resulting in her and most of her cabinet being slain. Adams swiftly assumes Lanford's position as her successor at Area 51. Elsewhere on Earth, Julius encounters 4 children who are fleeing Florida after becoming separated from their parents. Recognizing their distress, Julius provides comfort to the eldest girl, Sam, Joey King, who now shoulders the responsibility of caring for her siblings without knowing the fate of their parents. Julius takes charge of the vehicle until they encounter a school bus filled with abandoned children. Bringing the 4 kids onto the bus, Julius joins the group and continues the journey with the other children. Meanwhile, Breakish manages to open the container, revealing a large white sphere resembling the one previously shot down. Uncertain about how to access its contents, Floyd activates it by touching the sphere, prompting it to come alive. The sphere communicates in English and recounts the extinction of its race at the hands of the alien harvesters. It explains how the aliens have been absorbing the cores of numerous planets, including their own, to fuel their ships. Additionally, the sphere reveals its failed attempt to evacuate Earth due to the destruction of the necessary evacuation vessel by the Moon team. As the pilots approach the Queen, they gradually realize that it is a trap and that she is aware of their impending arrival. The aliens employ a blast similar to an electromagnetic pulse (EMP) to disable the pilots' jets and weapon systems. Fortunately, Jake, Dylan, Charlie, and Rain manage to escape before meeting their demise. The Queen's chamber aboard the massive ship separates and departs in search of the alien sphere. A plan is devised to lure the Queen to a remote location where they can eliminate her using a nuclear weapon. Patty volunteers to lead the attack, but Thomas manages to escape before she can, fully aware that his actions may result in his death. David readies himself at the attack site. Thomas enters the ship just as the Queen's shields go down. Once she is trapped, Thomas detonates the bombs, obliterating the ship at the sacrifice of his own life. The initial celebration erupts prematurely as they mistakenly believe the Queen is dead. In reality, she remains very much alive. Enraged and towering approximately 100 feet high, the Queen goes on a rampage in the desolate area, relentlessly attacking the pilots attempting to bring her down. Meanwhile, the drilling operation draws nearer to the planet's core with each passing moment. The Queen shifts her focus to attacking the bus, prompting Patty to pilot her jet above the Queen and unleash fire upon her shields. Patty succeeds in bringing down the shields just as the Queen's fleet swarms around her, providing protection. Jake, Dylan, Charlie, and Rain navigate through the swarm, striving to gather enough momentum for a fresh assault. They break free and launch a surprise attack on the Queen from behind. Mortally wounded, the Queen emerges from her exoskeleton and thrashes about before finally collapsing and succumbing to death. The other aliens are subsequently defeated, and the drilling operation comes to a halt. The mothership ascends and departs from Earth. Jake and Patty are reunited, sharing a heartfelt kiss. Charlie makes advances towards Rain, but she playfully insists on having dinner first, much to his delight. Breakish then approaches the pilots and his son with the sphere, expressing that it can provide them with new technology and weapons if they choose to engage the aliens in space before their return. Everyone agrees, and Breakish concludes the film by proclaiming that it is time to kick alien ass.